So what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Doing good. I'm in my apartment right now, and I went to see my cousin yesterday, and the day before that, I went to see my friend. So that wasn't essential, but my friend's mom is a nurse, so she had to be tested. So she's apparently okay. But
Oh,
like you don't even know who's really gonna be sick, because it's gonna take another week for the
the
symptoms.
incubation.
Yeah, and for the symptoms, right? So
Hmm.
I could have it right now, but it won't show. Sometimes they said it won't show for a week until So maybe by next week we'll see people will show more symptoms. But I'm kind of
Do you
used
think you're at
to.
high risk? Do you think you're at high risk?
Well, I'm diabetic too, so I am higher.
Yeah,
I don't. I'm high risk of getting it and not being able to fight it. So I'd have to be. I mean, I'm staying in America right now. I have a visa, working visa, but in Canada, I'd be safer. But then I'd have to take a plane there, which I don't know if I want to even do that.
yeah, absolutely not. That's insane to even think because it's just a little tube with circling oxygen. Everyone's breathing. It's not ideal.
Yeah, and there's also some people from the TSA that got contact got in contact with the virus. So
Oh, really?
yeah, somebody, I think it was a TSA agent and the LAX uh, was
Oh man.
was was contracted with it. Contracted? What am I saying?
Yeah, it's contracted.
Okay,
You're saying contracted like as a contract, but it's the same
contract.
thing, but you say it differently. Contracted.
Yeah, I think all this the cabin fever has got into everybody.
Yeah. How long have you been at home for? You said yesterday you went out to see your cousin.
Yeah, I went to see my cousin yesterday for like 5 hours, and then my friend before the day before that for around 5 hours. So the only time I'm leaving here is to see them, and some people are like, don't even do that, But I'm like, well, I'm not going to be in an enclosed space with over 50 people, first of all, and if it's just my cousin or one of my friends, even they said they could have it or whatever. Uh, but how important is that for me to be there? And so I went to my cousin's yesterday to get some supplies for myself.
Oh,
So
I see.
so that's why I had to do that. At the same time, we had dinner, but I'm still trying to quarantine myself in my place.
Yeah, I think
So
that would be the best
my
thing to
cousin
do.
might be, if I'm sick, my cousin might be sick, and my friend might be sick. So us three will be sick.
Yeah, man, it's tough. I was just literally just talking to another comic named Larry Garza. He has stage 4 lung cancer. So this guy, like, he's really just in his room, quarantined by himself. He's super, super high risk. Um, I was gonna tell you, does you live in LA, right? Like LA?
Yeah, I live in Los Angeles. I live in Hollywood, actually, like on Hollywood Boulevard and near the 101.
So is it like is it like I don't know like weird? Is there a lot of traffic or did the traffic completely stop?
There's definitely less traffic. There's still a lot of cars. Surprisingly, people might be going to work or something, but even
Mm-hmm.
going to my cousin's house and my friend's house was faster than normal. Normally, it takes an hour and a half to get there. It took me
Mm-hmm.
40 minutes, really, 40 minutes to an hour. But you could tell the vibe. The vibe is different. Everybody.
Don't touch your face.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Well, if I touch my face by myself, I can get sick.
Well, yeah. If you don't, have you been washing your hands usually a lot?
Oh yeah, yeah. But I'm by myself here. Like like what
But
if I
you brought foreign objects from outside of your house.
oh, as soon as I come in my house, I wash my hands and my face and put Purell as soon as I leave. Or as soon as I come back in. So um whatever from what I was outside, I actually took a shower as soon as I got back here.
Yeah. So all the comedy stuff going on in LA has shut down. Is there any people that you know are still doing like secret open mics and shit like that?
Only in Canada. But I think in Canada right now there was a lockdown last night, so nobody I know is doing any more shows, whether it's a secret show or a club show. Everybody's doing some kind of online open mic show right now,
Yeah.
where you can actually put like 30 people on Facebook and you could hear everybody laughing if you had your headsets on. It's kind of like a group. It's like a group chat, but you could hear everybody.
Really? So basically the other comics are the audience, or how does that work?
Yeah, other comics are the audience and people that want to join in. I did an open mic with Joe.
Oh.
Yeah, but I did an open mic with Joe Wong, who who had probably 22 people on the online. You could
Yeah.
only hear me or the person that's doing the stand up and Joe Wong, who's the host. But all the rest of the people you could see clapping or LOL. So it's it's whatever we can do. It's you know we're not getting the we're not getting the full feeling of what stand up is, but we're getting a tiny percent that is good enough for people, kind of like rations compared to a meal.
Yeah. Do you think it's kind of like comics just basically taking off that itch of the stage that they need to be on stage?
Yeah, because we're all addicted to it, and so like anything that you're addicted to is sort of a drug. So a lot of comics are withdrawing right now,
Mm-hmm.
and so even one of my friends, Alex Pavone from New York, was in the grocery store and he took the mic because he realized it was on. He was trying to do it. He got two, he did two bits and they threw him out.
They gave him the light early.
Yeah, like I'm seriously tempted to do something similar with a megaphone somewhere. It's
If
just
you
like,
do, please record it. Please record it.
yeah, honestly, because um, it's kind of like if you're on crack or meth and then you're locked up and you don't have any access to it. No joke, comics are feeling this withdrawal right now because
Yeah.
we do it 5 to 10 times to 20 times a week. So that's like how many times you're doing crack a week. It, you know, you can't really stop it. Like, in fact, I think comics and people that are doing meth or people that are addicted to stuff that they can't go out in the street and get right now because the drug dealers are also quarantining themselves, they're probably feeling the same thing we are. And that they're in their
Wow.
homes trying to smoke banana peels and whatever they can do. Like
Banana peels?
this,
Jesus Christ.
you could actually do that. There's a Canadian comic who wrote a list of things you can do to get high if you can't find your drug dealer. And what, like, obviously you can get Lysol and shit, but you actually smoke dried banana peels.
Fucking Canadians, man.
Hey, whatever you can do, man. But
So you were gonna say something about you work on cruise ships a lot.
yeah, I do. Well, I don't do it a lot. I did it I did it like 10 years ago for maybe 2 3 months, and then I did it a week a month for a year and a half, and I was like, okay, well, I don't need to do it as much anymore because some of the clubs and shows I've been doing was paying the same amount, so I don't need to do it every week. So
Mm-hmm.
I started doing cruises less, so a week every 4 months, twice a year. But that experience has allowed me uh, to be fine with this experience because to be
Oh,
quarantined
I
here
see.
is nothing compared to doing a cruise. Nothing. Because here I can go to my friend's house, the grocery store. I could go walk around the block maybe. If you're on a cruise, you're stuck on the cruise. You could either go outside where all the people know you, so they'll constantly bombard you, or you could stay in your cabin because you can't really talk to people that are working there because they're all working. So you kind of quarantine yourself all the time. You go out to eat and go to the gym, but other than that, you're pretty much stuck by yourself in a cabin. So this
That
is the
sounds like a fucking nightmare.
man. Some people love it, some people hate it, and this is nothing compared to it. So I'm still okay with this. It sounds crazy, but compared to doing a cruise, this is pretty easy.
Yeah, no, I don't think my anxiety would allow me to do a cruise. I can't. I just that image itself is that thought itself is giving me anxiety already. Fuck
Well,
that.
you know what? It gives me anxiety, and a lot of people that do cruises are older comics that are happy to leave their family and just be away for 3 weeks a month. So a lot of the guys I know that do cruises love it because they're
Yeah.
50 to 60 years old. They Nobody will hire them in clubs, so they're not famous enough. And if you're that old, if you don't have a following, who's going to hire you? But the cruisers will hire you because you can still relate to these older people that the majority of the cruise people are older. But
Yeah.
you're stuck. If you like walking around and talking to people that's seen your show, then go. Then that's great for you. But if you don't like that, it's going to be a very lonely 6 days or 9 days by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah. I've been
like the
talking
money, the
to.
money
Oh, I'm
great.
sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, sorry. No, the money is good and everything, but there's. I like you can make. I mean, if you do cruise comedy, you could obviously do you could also work on your act and make it artistic in some level. But the realistic the realistic thing about cruises is it's not called comedy cruise. It's called the name of the cruise ship, and you have 20 things to do, and one of those things happens to be a comedy show that you can go to. It's
Mm-hmm.
not their first choice, but it is one of the options they have. So, you know, um, in terms of how the city works, and if you're doing LA, New York, Atlanta, Boston, Chicago, Toronto, Vancouver, everybody that lives there doesn't really do the road too much, works on their act and what's the next best bit, the next best style that comedy has to offer. The same way you're a fashionista or a
Mm-hmm.
fashion designer, you're not going to come up with great ideas living in a small town or living on in a population of 2,000 people. Your your influence won't it be you can go there if you're in the city, you kind of come up with the latest and greatest fashion sense because you have the influence of people around you on the streets and styles all over, so you can learn from
Yeah.
it. You don't really learn from style in a small town unless you specifically go to a small town to grab a style from that and bring it back and call it grunge or something, right? But I mean, it's like comedy. Comedy is a style too. You can't really be by yourself on the road on a cruise and start creating great stuff when the influence around you is the cruise or the small town. The influence around you has to be other comics and and what do you call it? Other comics and great comics around you that you have to. It's kind of like gym facility. Like there's only you could probably be good in a home gym if you made your home gym, like even in
Mm-hmm.
jail, right? But somewhere down the line, their leg workout is not going to be as good as somebody that has squat machines.
Oh, okay. That's a fucking great analogy.
Because
That's yeah.
every jail guy I know doesn't have great legs.
How many Joe guys do you know?
I know 14, and all of them have shitty calves and shitty thighs. They have incredible arms, but they just lack legs because they don't have squat racks and proper leg extension things you could only do in in an actual gym.
Yeah.
So if you're in LA, New York, Texas, Austin, or whatever, like because there's the comedy around you is new. It's where it's giving birth. It's your best. The gym facility is good. Gym facility is like, hey, there's going to be a great comic you're going to see. There's going to be a bunch of young up and comers that are amazing. There's going to be, you know, there's going to be so many comics you learn from. The same way there's a leg extension machine. There's a squat rack. There's a hack squat rack. There's also like, uh, for like following hard comedians, that would be like trying to squat more than you could ever squat. You like, hey, let's
Yeah.
see if I
I
can
think you're
break.
covering your microphone. Are you holding your phone?
Oh shit, yeah. So is that better?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah. So basically, I'm just comparing it to gym facility or how you get influenced by other styles around you. If we're all fashion designers in comedy, because comedy is our fashion, we have to be influenced by the greats around us and up and comers around us and the street around us, not just the small town and the cruise doesn't allow you to create that way if that's all you do. If you go back and forth, that's great. But if you're just doing cruises alone, your comedy will be based on cruises, which is fine if you work a cruise, and that's great. But if your goal is to also do stuff in the mainstream media, it's not going to translate. People are like, why is this person talking about the buffet?
Yeah.
You know, why is he
Yeah,
talking
no, I
about how
totally get
small
you.
his cabin is? We're not in a cabin, you know. So I've seen comics that work cruises and finally got kicked out of cruises and they're trying to do comedy clubs again, and they featured for me. And the first thing I said was, why is this guy talking about how small his cabin is? Like he'll tell the audience, I just came back from a cruise, and you know how the cabins are so small, and they're like, I don't know that, and then they would actually do okay, but it would do so much better if you did that in a cruise where everybody's relating to it, kind of like
Yeah.
a wedding, doing wedding jokes for the people who are getting married here. It may work outside of that, but chances are it's better for the occasion.
Yeah, no, I get you. Now you've been doing comedy for a long time, right?
Yeah, I started my first show was my first time ever on stage was 18 in 1992. I got booed off because I
Oof.
thought comedy you just made up on the spot. I thought Eddie Murphy's Delirious was made up. I thought Chris Rock's Bring the Pain was made up. I thought all these shows, all these specials were just nobody wrote it before or practiced it. I thought they just went up and became funny. So I tried that. I got booed off, and I jumped off the stage and I sprinted to the bathroom, and I was holding onto the counter, looking in the mirror, and I saw a tear forming. I go, "Don't cry, don't cry," and it fell. And then I said to myself, "You slut." I don't even know why I said slut. And then I didn't come back until 22, so 1997. So it took 4 years for me to come back. A lot of
Wow.
comics are like this. Hey, I wish I started when I was 14. You know how traumatic it would have been for you to do it at 14 if your parents weren't there and you got booed off?
Yeah.
Your mind is not ready to take that 100 people yelling at you rejection. Your mind can't take that. It's hard and if you can take it, you're a
Yeah.
psychopath with have no emotions.
You're a murderer for
You're
sure.
a murderer. If you're not affected that by people booing you at 14 to 18, you're a murderer. When I got booed off at 18, I did not ever want to come back. I was like,
Oh
this is too
man.
scary. But then something in me said you got to keep doing it because there's only one show you did. I went back at 22 and in 1997. So it's been 23 years since then. This April, are we in April yet? This April,
No.
April
We're
17th
March.
will be my 23rd year, and from 22. But I did do it 4 years before that at 18. So when people go, oh, I should start at 19, 18, 14, I go, you started the time your body and mind was ready to start. Every person
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
started was ready to start because they had enough money to do it. They had a job they hated. They had a mental. They're like, oh, I wish I started when I was 18. I started when I was 25. Oh, why didn't you start when you were 18? I just had a day job. So you weren't ready, obviously, whether it was
Hmm.
mentally or physically or financially ready. You were not ready. You can only do it when your mind is ready to do it. And you to start before that, I wasn't ready to do it. I just did it because I said I know I want to do stand-up comedy. Let me try it. Boom. I got hit by the comedy bug, but at the same time I realized I can't I gotta heal from this boo first.
Yeah, absolutely. And then now you have all these acolytes, man. You've done Showtime, you Just for Laughs, all this stuff. So you're a legit working comedian. How did this whole coronavirus thing affect you? Like, I know you must have lost a lot of money.
Yeah, I lost. Right now, just you know how the tolls of people that are getting cases are going up.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much money I'm losing this month. Like honestly, I looked at the tolls. It was 7,000 or whatever. Uh, I think 7,000 was the total. I can't. It was a couple days ago. That's how much I lost exactly in the
Wow.
next 4 weeks. The next 4 weeks are being canceled. So that was equivalent to $7,000, maybe even eight, because I had a $3,000 cruise.
Whoa, shit, man.
Yeah, every cruise you do is around 3 grand for 6 days, minimum.
Yeah. And do you sell anything offline? Do you have any merch that you sell online or?
No, but that's what I think that what's happening right now is people are starting to do podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Like the amount of cases that are being our new cases are being founded are probably equivalent to the babies that will be born in this month or being
Mm-hmm.
conceived in this month, equivalent to the amount of podcasts we start, equivalent to how many people are trying to make memes. I've never seen more memes in my life.
Yeah,
It's crazy. If meme was a stock, it'd be skyrocketing right now.
that's true, right? Have you ever
Yeah.
thought of something and then you see a meme about it and you're like, fuck?
Oh yeah. Remember? Well, I remember that other guy that from Texas saw my meme and he was like, "Mine was better," and I was like, "Well, then post your meme."
Oh,
And he goes, "No, mine's a show and I do on stage." I go, "Well, this ain't a show on stage. This is called a meme." Like that guy, he was like, "Mine's better." Okay, then show me that yours is better. And then he was like, "No, mine's an act." I go, "Then it's an act. It's not a meme." My meme wording is it's different from stand up act because my stand up sounds like me.
yeah.
You know, I guess he doesn't. That's when you know the person's under 10 years because they're talking doesn't make any sense. He's saying this: my apple's better than your orange. I'm like, well, then you just like apples more because you can't compare an apple and an orange. Like that's what
Yeah.
he was trying to do. And then after when I said post it to show, he was like, "No, I do it on stage. I don't want it to go viral." I go, "Look, just do it on our post because I only have 2,000 followers. It's not going to go viral."
Yeah.
How do people think they're going to go viral? You know what? The people that say I don't want to post it because I don't want to go viral, like this is what happened when Russell Peters blew up. I remember a lot of Canadian comics were saying this, man. Yeah, he blew up, but all that material is wasted, and so he had to come up with a new hour. Well, luckily he had an hour extra. And after I'm like, so why don't you do it? I don't want to blow up, and then I don't get paid for it, and this and that. I go, you know how hard it is to blow up? If you blow up by chance, who cares? Host a show and do 15 new minutes and have your friends on it, like how Angela Johnson did when she blew up. She didn't have the time. When Angela Johnson blew up, she had 15 great minutes, and she would host her shows for a year until she could do the headlining. But she built it slowly but surely
Oh, yeah.
because
That's kind of what I do with my shows. I host all my shows and I use them for my personal self. I use them as an open mic because I host
right,
them. So since I'm hosting, I use all new material in my shows. Most of the time, I use more new material, and then the rest of the comics do all their solid shit. But since
yeah,
I'm
and there's no
hosting,
pressure on you. There's no pressure
yeah.
on you. You
Mm-hmm.
get to develop material while people are still paying to see you. So she
Yep.
did that, and which was really the smart way to go. But people are like, oh, I don't want to go. I don't want to blow up, and then I don't get paid for the blow up. Yeah, but your second special will blow up when they want to see you. And if you're not
Yeah.
ready, then do the thing. And it's not easy to blow up. You know, everybody tried to. The same way as like, you ever hear this? Man, I don't want to work out because I don't want to get too big. You know how fucking hard it is to get too big? It's impossible to be big without steroids. Like it really is. Without
Yeah.
steroids, you got to go fucking 4 hours a day. You got to eat like a scientist, right? Just to be able and take all these nutritional pills, or these pills and all this stuff to even make yourself heal faster, grow more, even in a non-steroid way. I'm like, well, you think that's easy? I have a friend that was like this, man. I want to get in a fight tonight. You know how if you get punched in the nose, dude, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna go look for a fight. Some guy's gonna go, all right, let's fight, and then I'm gonna look at you, and then you're gonna get punched in your nose, and you're gonna cry and fall down. And we are all gonna have to fight these big black guys because I know he's gonna choose a black guy because he wants to make it tough for himself. And then we are gonna have to bring him to the hospital. He's gonna wake up 2 days later going, so did we win? You know, like I hate people that say, I want to get a fight tonight. Like after the UFC, I watched like maybe 16 or 17 UFCs live. When the one I went to Buffalo, no, the one I went to Montreal, it was illegal at the time. You know what, the Buffalo thing was we had this thing called extreme fighting. It was on UFC and extreme fighting were the rival UFC rival MMA organizations back in 1995.
Okay.
3, 4, and 5. Extreme fighting didn't last for more than 5 years, but we went to one of those, and a lot of the Gracies, Henzo, and Royce's cousins were in there, and at the end, people were like, "Man, I can't." They wanted to fight each other on the streets after the fight, and it looked so terrible. If you see a guard, that means you're on your back and you're straddling, you're closing your legs to hold the guy while you're on the ground. If you don't know what you're doing, it looks ridiculous. And these people were like fighting after the show, and they're all getting hurt. And eventually, it's like you think anything is easy when you see a professional do it because it looks easy. A professional makes fighting look easy, stand-up look easy, race car driving looks easy. Everything they do looks easy to the point where it makes the people watching believe they can do it. and then they get punched. Like I saw this hilarious fight, dude. So one of my friends was an MMA fighter, and he was in the UFC. And
who is it? Say his name.
Carlos Newton.
Oh yeah, Carlos Newton. He got slammed to death by Matt Hughes.
Matt Hughes, right? So
yeah.
So after he won against Pat Militek, we went to a club in Toronto, right? Yeah. And there were a couple of cholos there. There's not too many cholos in Canada, but there's still some. And one guy wanted to challenge Carlos because his girl was dancing up on him. So this guy was pissed. So he goes, "Hey, bro, let's go outside fight." And Carlos was like, "No, I'm not going to fight you." Have you ever seen a cholo lose a fight, but he sounded like he was winning?
No.
When cholos fight, they always sound like they're winning, even when they're losing, bro.
How so?
This guy was like, "Let's go, bro." And then they fought, and then he was getting punched in the face, and he goes, "Oh, that's all you got, man? Oh, come on." And then he was on the ground, and he got choked up, and he was like, this is how he looked like. He was like, "Man, that's all you got?" And then he says, "That's it? Come on, man." He was out cold saying this shit. "Man, that's all. Are you weak, bro?" He was on the pavement, and then everyone was like, "Who's winning?" This guy was out cold saying, "You suck, bro." This guy was like, "Hey, nothing, man. You suck, bro." The guy was out cold.
Wait, speaking of which, didn't that happen to you? Huh? Didn't you fight a Gracie, or you went to one of those old school Gracie challenges?
Yeah. So basically, the Royce Gracie.
Where was this at?
This is as an academy in Torrance in 1992. So
Torrance is where? In Canada?
Torrance is in LA.
Oh, okay.
It's a suburb. It's like another. It's like, you know, there's El Segundo. There's, you know.
Okay, so it's in California. It's in LA.
Yeah, there's all these places. So it's in LA. So my cousin's place was there, across the street, like two blocks down. The Gracie Academy was there. My brother and I walked in, and we saw people losing fights. And then
what was this year? What year was this?
91.
91.
Yeah. So I realized they had a challenge called the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Challenge. So if you beat any brothers, you would get money. So my brother and I watched this, and then Royce was there, and he was just like, "You guys want to try?" And we're like, "Well, we don't really want to we're not doing it for money." And they're like, "Oh, we'll just try." Then they didn't videotape it. They just said do what you want to do, and then I literally took down Hoist, and then I was about to punch him because I took wrestling, so I was like, I'm gonna take this guy down. And then when I took him down, and I thought, and then when I had lifted my arm, I was about to punch him, and then I woke up. Right, so he had a triangle choke on me.
Oh
But I
shit!
didn't know what it was. And at the same time, when you're a proper choke doesn't make you feel like you're choking. You're just it's cutting oxygen to your brain, but your throat is not hurt, and you just pass out. So I didn't feel it. I was just like, I've choking people like that where they didn't even know it was on. They're like, I didn't even know it was on. It was just perfect.
You were like,
And
"Is that it, bro? Is that it? Is that you got, bro?"
yeah, so you got, bro, man. You ain't nothing, man. You and your pink elephant. You think you're cool with those wings? You think you could fly around me, bro? Man, I'm an X-Men. Dude, I never seen this guy get beat up and talking smack as he's out cold, bro. It was the coolest thing. Even when he got punched, it was like, that's all you got? And he's like, his nose was like, it's bleeding. And he's just like, oh, this ain't nothing, man.
Damn, Carlos Newton, man, he was a pioneer, man.
Yeah,
Savage. Isn't he like a doctor now, or he's like a
he's a doctor.
something?
He has a doc. He's a doctor. He actually has his own. He has his own clinic.
Yeah,
When
that's
he
what I
was
heard.
fighting, he was still in university or in college at the time. And then
Wow.
one fight he had on the street, this guy couldn't wanted to fight him so bad. He tried to punch Carlos. Carlos gave him like a flying armbar and then broke his arm. And then Carlos was going,
Oh.
and you idiot, that's gonna take you 9 months to heal. Oh fuck. And he actually took out like a first aid kit and helped him after the fight.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's just like imagine the guy that beat you up is now your doctor. You're like, what happened? Well, you were too stupid and you thought you could beat me. That's what happened.
Now don't move. Here's a splint.
Yeah, right. So I started with Carlos and Mark Bocek, and those guys used to train in Toronto, and We also started. We used to train in my basement for a long time, and
Oh
then
wow, that's so cool.
and one of my best friends, Omar Silvoso, became one of the first black belts in Canada, and he also did a couple MMA fights. But he has like his gym in Toronto is one of the best for purest form of jiu-jitsu because he learned from Carlson Gracie. That
Oh
lineage.
wow.
Yeah. So I mean that's definitely what I wanted to do before I found comedy. But comedy, as soon as I did it once, I remember thinking this feels better than anything in life. Whether whether I got booed or not, I still felt amazing. It was
Yeah.
like, stand up comedy just took, and a lot of people are like, comedy is like a relationship. You love it and you hate it. And it's like, it's true. It's kind of like that. But now, after 20 years, it's more like it can't be like a relationship or a marriage because I want to be able to love it more than a marriage. That sounds terrible. But marriage, you want to kill your spouse. I don't want to kill comedy. I don't want comedy is a place where I go to now, where it's like your favorite dance club, your favorite lounge, your favorite place to be. That really should be what it is, because you can do shows. When you first start, you're doing every type of show and you're enjoying it, and then eventually you go, I only like these type of shows. And then you go, look, if I do 50% shows I don't like and I do 50% shows I do like, still pretty good. But as soon as you get older in comedy, you're like, you know what? I only want to do 80% of shows I like, 20% of shows I don't like, but I'll do it for the money. Where 50% of
Yeah.
shows you did before, you probably didn't get paid a lot, but you did it because you loved comedy in general.
So which are the
Now I love
shows that you don't
comedy.
like doing that pay good?
I like to do my favorite shows are free shows. Like I'll do a 20-minute spot for $50 at Laugh Factory, Improv, Store, Comedy Magic Club. Those are my favorite shows, or the independent booking shows in the city. The ones that I go to do the 45 minutes to an hour, I like them, but I only pick certain clubs that I'll do now. Like if I've played over 50 clubs in my lifetime as a headliner, I'm down to like 15 clubs I want to do only. I don't want to do the other ones.
Oh
You know?
wow.
Yeah, because before you don't have the option to.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, because of this pandemic, I'll do anything because I have no options. But if you have so many options, you pick the ones you like the most. And the stars probably have it the best because they can pick any show they want to do, any city, and fill it up with the people that want to see them. You know, you do 5 shows a weekend in a comedy club, whether you're featuring, emceeing, or headlining. One of them is probably the show that you like the best, not because you killed the most, is because the people identified with you the most,
Mm.
and that would
Yeah.
be closest to a crowd that would follow you. I could kill my Saturday second show, my Friday second show. It doesn't mean I loved it because I'm paid to be a killer, you know. But the ones that the ones that connect with the audience the most and they identify with me the most, those are the shows that I love the most. And it's usually one of the 5 shows. It could be the Thursday or Sunday show where there's just half an audience. It could be the first show in Friday or Saturday. But it's out of the 5 shows, 4 of them I probably don't really like them as an audience, as a following to follow me because maybe they were a certain douchebag quality,
Mm.
you know. But I could still kill it just because that's my job, right? But what
Yeah.
I really liked was probably the ones that listened to me more at my setups. You know, this is how you can tell it's a good crowd. They don't mind silence in your setups.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I know what you mean.
they're about you. They're about the comedy. They're about the journey. The ones that go, hey man, fucking tell a joke, hurry up. Where you try to create moments and they destroy it. They're not there for comedy. They're not. They're there for laughter per second, and that's for them to heal from their bad day, right?
Mm.
It's not the same thing when a comedy crowd's there to listen to something you say that could affect them in a positive way. You know, so that's through the art. And unfortunately, only rich people or people that have money can enjoy art to that level. Most people that don't have money are buskers to enjoy their art, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I totally get it, brother. Like I said, so you don't have any merch at the moment? Do you have anything that people out there, as you as a working comic, like maybe I don't know, do you have a special that you're selling or any kind of merch or where people can go and buy shit from you
Special.
to help you in this hard time?
I have a special that I'm gonna probably set out, try to link people to, and it's called My Creation, which is there's a joke in my act that says it
Yeah,
talks about
yeah, I know it. I know it.
yeah, and it's already on. On XM radio or like it's through all that stuff, but I'm gonna have to like just sell it on my own, uh, on Facebook or IG because there's no other way to make money right now. You know.
Yeah, well, as soon as you get those links, whatever links you want to send, give them to me and I'll put them on the description of this video. And
Oh, for
whoever
sure.
sees this, yeah, it's gonna see all this. Now, before we leave, I want you to say one word, any word that you want, your favorite word, and I'm gonna put it right there on your forehead.
All right, my favorite word, any word in the world. You want to put it in my forehead?
Yeah, I'll make it appear there when this comes out. Just at this
Oh,
moment, not through the whole thing.
okay, my favorite word at the moment would be. Oh man, that's a hard one because if this is a normal day, I would say adobo because I'm hungry. But since it's not a normal day, um, I'm gonna go with um, oh man, I'm looking at, but I'm like maybe you know what? My favorite word right now would be calm.
What?
calm, not calm,
Calm.
calm.
Oh, okay. Boop. There you go.
Because this would be a mark of wet if I said the other word.
Mm-hmm.
A white a white dot. But no, I like to be calm. Right now, it's all about me
Calm.
being calm, and I
That's
want
good.
everybody else to be calm.
That's great. I wish everyone would be calm too. Most importantly, everyone to be safe out there. You know what I mean? Take this shit serious. If we all just literally follow the rules, we can fucking beat this shit. So that's the most important thing, I think. If people actually social distancing and stay in your fucking houses and let it just fucking settle down, I think we can go far by beating this shit faster.
Hell yeah, for sure.
But anyways, brother, we were gonna go on tour actually on April, but unfortunately that shit got canceled. But as soon as the dust settles, let's do it again. Let's try to make it
Hell
happen
yeah,
again, brother.
for sure, man.
All right, brother. It was great talking to you, man. Thank you for taking your time to do this, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem. No, I have time on my hands, so it's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah. I figured. I figured. All
All
right,
right,
don't
brother.
get out of your house too much, motherfucker. All right. I'll see you
All
later,
right,
Ron.
man.
Thank you.